Welcome back to a new post today. Let's continue with where we stopped for the most important topics that you need to keep track for the upcoming UPSC Civil Services examination of 2025 for your prelims. So we had stopped for January 13th and 14th. Let's track January 16th and 17th because 15th was a holiday, so we did not have any issue, but definitely the topics are included in January 16th as well. So the very first is about Notter land. Now why was this a news? It's the wasteland in Ladakh, and now the Ministry of Home Affairs has proposed to regularize this vast land, government land in Ladakh in the name of the local residents. There have been fears of taking over of this land by outsiders in the Ladakh Union Territory, and the proposal was discussed as a high-powered committee meeting between the locals in Ladakh and also the Ministry of Home Affairs. Now let me tell you that there was a high committee led by Union Minister of State for Home Nityananda Rai that was constituted in 2023 to address many of the concerns of the Ladakhi people who are demanding a separate state, 6th scheduled status, more numbers of MP to the Lok Sabha, and also a separate body for conducting examinations to the civil services there in Ladakh as well. Apart from that, you have the next issue coming up with regard to the conduct of civil election rules 1961 now being in news. So why was this in news? Because the Supreme Court now sent a notice to the Union Government and the Election Commission of India with regard to a plea that came to it against changes made to this conduct of election rules 1961. So what are the changes? In December 2024, the Union Government amended the Rule 93 of the 1961 conduct of election rules. Now, as per the new election rules, all the election related documents will not be available for inspection to the public, therefore reducing transparency and accountability. And this was the criticism given by the activists who filed a plea against the changes made by the Government of India that is going to reduce accountability to the voters and the public, and also reduce transparency as well, therefore violating the fundamental right to information to the citizens of India to know information about the election under Article 19 of the Constitution of India. The next is about Vakshir, Nilgiri and Surat being in news. So what are these? INS Vakshir has a reputation of a submarine. Now it was recently inducted into the Indian Army. It has features like acoustic absorption technique, revolutionary air independent propulsion system. INS Surat was a news. It is India's first AI enabled ship, and it is one of the 4 classes of warships under the Project 15B, the others being INS Vishakhapatnam, Marmagoa and Imphal, and this also has been inducted into the Navy recently along with INS Vakshir. What is INS Nilgiri? INS Nilgiri is a flagship vessel of the new class of frigates under Project 17A that will be a revolution to the Indian Navy. These are Shivalik class ships currently, and all of these have been inducted at once into the Indian Navy the same day, therefore giving a boost to Make in India program because these were indigenously produced by Government of India as well, therefore increasing the capability of the Indian Navy in the oceans. The next is about Jallikattu. So what are the alternate nicknames of Jallikattu? It is a bull taming festival that is held during Pongal in Tamil Nadu. It's also called as Sallikattu because there is a chain or a pouch of coins that is tied to the bull that is running, and the person who has to tame the bull has to take away the pouch of coins, which is his or hers at the end. It is also called as Sallikattu, as I said, Eru Taluvat and also Manju Viratu as well. So the bulls that are used are the Pulikolam breed and the Kangayam breed, which is used for bull taming festival in Jallikattu. Apart from this, we have the next issue coming up with regard to easy access to toilets. Now Supreme Court reinforcing that access to toilet is a part of dignity and part of fundamental right of Article 21, which guarantees a person's right to life and dignity, and this right is inherent, ensuring safe and hygienic environment for all the citizens of it, for all the individuals. It asked the high courts and the state governments to ensure accessible separate toilets for men, women and transgender people and persons with disabilities in all the premises and tribunals, therefore adding a new right under the fundamental right of 21, that is access to clean toilets, ensuring safety and hygiene for citizens. The next is about Kashi Tamal Sangamam 3.0 now being going to be conducted at Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh from February 15th. It is organized by the Ministry of Education, Government of India in collaboration with other ministries like Culture, Textile, Railway, Tourism, Food Processing and the Government of UP as well. The program aims to provide an opportunity for the scholars, students, philosophers, traders, artisans and artists and people from various walks of life from the two regions to come together to share knowledge, culture and the best practices and to learn from each other's experience as well. The Frontier Nagaland territory has been in news. It will comprise 6 districts of the border parts of Nagaland, that is Kifaya, Longlen, Mong, Noklak, Shemetor and Tungsan. The centre has agreed to provide executive, legislative and financial autonomy to this region called as Frontier Nagaland territory. Now the demand for a Frontier Nagaland territory stemmed from the state government's neglect of these 6 eastern districts of Nagaland, and it gathered intensity on the state's formation day in 2023. Therefore, the people also banning the boycotting the Hornbill Festival, which is a major event showcasing the culture of Naga and Non-Naga communities as well. Coming on to film awards, which is called as BAFTA. Now these are called as British Academy Film Awards, called as BAFTA. They are annual and they are hosted by the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. The ceremony is held annually in the Royal Opera House, and recently it was awarded to various films as well. Apart from that, Sriharikota now planning to have a third launch pad apart from the first and second. Now this launch pad will be able to handle spacecrafts weighing more than 30,000 tons, and it will support next generation launch vehicle along with the Launch Vehicle Mark III as well. It is also a backup for the second launch pad. It is going to be universal, adaptable and will also be scaled up for various other configuration of launch vehicles as well. The Drone Didi scheme was a news. It was launched in 2023 November. Now it will help the self-help groups in villages, almost 15,000 women, and the scheme will be implemented through the Krishi Vigyan Kendras. The drones will help the women who are in agriculture especially. And apart from that, we have the Bharat Ranbhoomi app. So anybody who wants to visit the battlefields of India like Kargil or the other battlefields like Siachen Base Camp now will be able to do so through this app called as Bharat Ranbhoomi app. This app has been launched to make these battle sites as tourism hotspots as well. And the Supreme Court now working to its full strength of 34 with the appointment of the Patna High Court Chief Justice as a judge of the Supreme Court, Vinod Chandran. So Vinod Chandran took oath as a judge of the Supreme Court administered by Chief Justice of India, and now his appointment will have a full strength of the Supreme Court until 34. When the Supreme Court came in being, the strength was 7, and there is no fixed strength of the Supreme Court in the Constitution. It leaves it to the Parliament to determine the strength of the Supreme Court, and they are appointed by the President with the recommendation of the Collegium. The Collegium is not a constitutional mechanism. Now, the New Glenn rocket was in news. It is launched by Blue Origin, a company of Jeff Bezos of Amazon, and this is the largest ever rocket to be built up to now among all the countries, and it lifted off from Florida, so it is named after the first American to orbit Earth. New Glenn rocket belonging to a private company called as Blue Origin. And we celebrated Republic Day to ensure the coming into force of the Constitution of India, which replaced the Government of India Act 1935 until when we were ruled by this Government of India Act 1935 until we had the Constitution come into force. We adopted 26 January as the Republic Day to enforce the decision of the Indian National Congress, who celebrated Purna Swaraj as a complete Independence Day on this day, January 26, 1930. So these are the points I thought I should be tracking for you all for January 16th and 17th. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.